To watch our latest videos, click on the subscribe button and press the bell icon. चलिए कुछ नया सीखें.
Hello friends, welcome to another episode of Edu Pathshala. In today's video, we'll talk about financial well-being, and as part of financial well-being, we'll cover the topic of understanding NPS. The two things that I would like to cover today in the video is firstly, understanding the investment types in NPS, and secondly, what is portfolio rebalancing in NPS. We'll cover what rebalancing is, why rebalancing is important, and how to perform a rebalancing operation in NPS. So let's first jump into understanding what are the different type of investment options in NPS. So basically, NPS offers us two type of investments. The first one is the auto type and the second one is the active type. Now, if you are an investor who does not have a lot of knowledge about how financial markets work, then auto is the type of investment that has been recommended for you. And if you are somebody who wants to take charge of your financial investments, then there is an option that NPS gives, which is active option. We'll go into details of the same now. So if you talk about the auto investment type, we'll take the first example of it. At the lowest entry age of 18 years, the auto choice entails investment of 50% of pension wealth in E class, 30% in C class, and 20% in G class. Now, primarily, auto option gives you three subcategories of it, which we'll look in a short while. One such option is, and this is just to give you an example, wherein up until a certain age, your investment into equities is fixed at 50%. Your investment into the corporate bonds is fixed as 30%, and your investment into the government securities, government bonds, it fixed at 20%. Now, these ratios will remain fixed until the age of 36. After the age of 36, the weightage of these categories start to change. The weight in E and C class will gradually decrease over the time, and the weightage in the government securities, which are termed as more safe options, start increasing. They will decrease, the E and C categories will decrease until they reach 10%, and the G will increase until it reaches the 80%. And this gradual increase and decrease is put to in a table which is published by NPS as well. The percentage of investment in the asset class ECG will change, right, as per the age of the subscriber. So as the person grows older, the intent is that the investment that the person has made should become more safer. Hence, their equity exposure and the corporate bond exposure which are termed as the riskier investments, will start coming down, and their government securities investment or exposure will start increasing. In the case of auto, this process of changing the percentage, and this also actually triggers the rebalancing of the portfolio, happens on the date of birth of the subscriber. So if your date of birth is, let's say, 1st of August, so 1st of August each year, this will change after you have attained the age of 36 years. The existing assets are redeemed. So whatever you have in the portfolio are redeemed and the new investments are made. Actually, what it does is it takes the differential of the amount. For example, if you earlier had 50% exposure in equity and now you're supposed to have an equity exposure of 45%. So 5% of your equity is redeemed and an equivalent amount is invested in the government bonds or corporate bonds, as the case may be. If we talk about the life cycle investment matrix, so there are three options that auto gives basis your kind of a risk appetite. If you have an aggressive appetite of risk, then you can have an equity exposure up until 75%. If you have a moderate risk, then you have an equity exposure of 50%. And if you are conservative, then you can have equity exposure of 25%. Now, among these graphs, you can see that as the time passes, as your age passes, then after 35 years of age, this exposure in equity starts decreasing in all of these three funds. So if we talk about the aggressive fund, from 75% equity exposure, it gradually comes down till the exposure is limited to 15%. If you talk about the moderate life cycle fund, then your equity exposure comes down from 50% gradually to 10%. And if you talk about conservative life cycle fund, then your equity exposure comes down from 25% to 5%. So these are the three different type of cycle investment, and as on each year on your birth date, a rebalancing of this gets triggered, and hence the portion of equity is sold, and with that portion an equal amount of corporate or government bonds, as the case may be bought. We'll now move on to the active type of investment. So under this type of investment, the subscriber has an option to choose a fund manager. There are many fund managers that are recommended by NPS, and you can pick one of those fund managers as you may deem suitable, and you can also provide the ratio in which these funds can be invested. So in the auto choice, you have three options, which is E, C, G, equity, corporate, and government. In active, you have got four options. One is E, C, G, and the last one as A, which is alternate investments. If we talk about investment limits, so as we covered in the case of auto, one has an upper limit for equity exposure to 75 for aggressive type of investment, 50% for moderate, and 25% for conservative. In active type of investment, one has the option of 75% as the upper limit for equity. But what is also important is if you go down, you can see even up until the age of 60 and above, you can still have the exposure up until 50% of equity. Now that may sound too risky, and that may be too risky as well, but that option of having a higher equity exposure, if you have a high risk appetite, then this is an option which does give you a higher exposure to equity. If we talk about again active type of investment, then the maximum cap on equity gets reduced with the period of time, which is also demonstrated in the table on the right, and this also shows across the various asset classes how your equity exposure needs to come down. So while equity exposure will come down from 75 to 50 for age 60 and above, the corporate bond exposure can still be 100%. So you can, for example, have a 0% equity and a 100% corporate bond exposure, or you can have a 50% equity and a 50% corporate bond exposure with 0% on government. So it gives you a lot of options and a lot of flexibility to make your choices and actively manage your fund, which is why it has been aptly named as an active type of investment. If we talk about portfolio rebalancing, let's understand what is portfolio rebalancing and why does one need portfolio rebalancing. We have seen in the case of auto investment as well that the government, while making these investments, also recommends and is performing a portfolio rebalancing. So portfolio rebalancing simply means that the percentage of exposure that you agreed for example, you said that I want to take a 50% exposure into equities, 30% exposure into corporate bonds, and 20% exposure into government bonds. Over the period of time, these exposures or these limits may get changed. The equity may overperform or underperform, and similarly other asset classes may have their own changes in the performance level. And what that may lead to is that while you started with an intention of having a certain percentage for an asset class, that may totally be debunked up at the end of that year or after a few years. And what you may be led to is you may have let's say you start with 50% equity exposure, and after an year you end up having a 55% equity exposure, which means you are overexposed in equity, and that may in turn just jeopardize your plan to have a safe investment into corporate and government bonds. On the flip side, let's say if equity underperforms, you may end up having lesser exposure in equity and thus overexposed into the safer government and corporate bonds, and you may miss out on the rally, if any, that comes through on the equity side of things. So you may want to at that point in time rebalance your portfolio to again make sure that you have the similar amount of equity exposure so that you can buy the equity cheap and take the advantage of the equity bull run as and when it comes through. So let's have a look at the example, which I hope will help you understand the situation better. So let's take an example where we have an investment of 10,000 per month divided in the ratio of 50 is to 30%, 50 is to 30 is to 20, 50% into equity, 30% into corporate, and 20% into government bonds. So that means 5,000 rupees each month is being invested in equity, 3,000 in corporate bond, and 2,000 in the government bond. Now, as time passes, as the years passes, the assumption is that these amounts will change as the person's pay scale and the salary increases. But for the sake of this example, we'll take the salary as constant for that particular year from January till December. The running balances, these are simple sum of the investment made that month and the previous month. It is just that if you look at the running balances, they should increase, and by the end of 12th month, which is by the end of the year, you should have an investment of roughly around 12 lakh, which is 1 lakh into, 1 lakh 20,000, which is 10,000 into 12. Now, these are month-end actual balances. These are we are making an assumption that the market is going up and down, right? All of these are exposed to market, so you have these values going up and down, and we assume that month-end balances look somewhat like this, right? So equity, of course, has more volatility as opposed to corporate and government bonds, and thus you will see that these values are changing dynamically, right? We are just making these assumptions. This is assumptive data. The actual data will, of course, be differ, and this year we have anyways seen that the COVID impact has made COVID has made a huge impact upon how the values have swinged. In Jan, Feb, in Feb and March they went too low, and in April and May they started recovering. So the numbers really may change based upon the market factors. If we translate these numbers into percentages from an allocation perspective, what one observes is that over the course of these months, over the course of 1 year, the percentage exposure to different asset classes has changed considerably. So, assuming that the market was on the downward trend during the first half of the year, the equity exposure came down to 45.6%, which is approximately 4.5% changed from what your initial assumption was, and you are overexposed into corporate and government bonds by approximately the same 4.5%. As the time passes over the year, at the end of the year, 51.4% is your exposure, 29% corporate and government bond is less. So you are overexposed in equity at this point in time, and you are underexposed in the corporate and government bond. So these are some of the reasons. See, at this point in time, since you are underexposed in equity, that means that this is probably the time when you should be making your equity percentage go back to 50%, so that when the prices start becoming normal, when the equity bull run starts happening again, you have more NAVs at hand, right? What is an NAV, how NAVs are calculated? I'm making an assumption that you are aware of it. If not, I'll make a video about that and make you more aware about that as well. But this is where one typically should think whether one should be triggering a portfolio rebalance, as they are underexposed in equity and they are overexposed in corporate and government bonds. And similarly, at the end of the year, one should have a thing saying, I was supposed to be 50% exposed to equity. I am 51.4% exposed, so I am overexposed into equity. Now, this may sound actually very less when we are doing it for, let's say, 1 lakh rupees. But as the portfolio grows, you will understand that the amount that is involved in terms of exposures to various asset classes is actually exponentially high as well. Now, coming to the question of how do we perform how can one perform the portfolio rebalancing? So, in case of auto, as I said earlier, the rebalancing of portfolio happens on the date of birth of the subscriber. So, there is no manual intervention required, and hence there is no action required from the subscriber's point of view. In terms of active, there are two ways how the portfolio rebalancing can take place. One is you can change the scheme percentage preference, which is you can say that right now I am 60%, 30%, and 10% exposed. I want to change it to 65%, 25%, and the rest 10%. Okay, that will trigger our portfolio rebalancing for you. It will redeem the additional percentage of NAVs from whatever asset class it is overburdened at, and then it will buy the ones which are at the lower percentage levels. Also, what you can do is you can change your portfolio fund manager. Let's say if you are in Active Choice and you have HDFC as your fund manager, you can change it to LIC, and that will also trigger a portfolio rebalancing. What it does in that case is it sells all your investment for HDFC and equally it will buy it for LIC. There's no substantial charges for this. The usual NPS service management charges are what gets applied, which is not very high. Scheme preference change, how you can perform it. So if you go and log on to your NPS portal, you get a option over there to perform scheme preference change request. You select that, it is highlighted over here, and then you can choose the various portfolio fund managers, and you can change what kind of asset class do you want to invest in and what are the percentage contribution for that. The process of portfolio fund manager change is also not very difficult. On the same screen, you would have seen that you get an option for changing portfolio fund manager. You just tick that box, you go to the next screen, and then you can choose your new portfolio fund manager over there. The key thing to understand is you cannot do this very often. So you only can change your portfolio fund manager only once in a month, so you cannot do this very frequently. Okay, so for example, if in a month there are 3 to 4 times you want to do that, you cannot change your portfolio fund manager, and also you can only change your portfolio percentage. From my experience, it is only 2 times a month. I haven't seen more than that, but I don't think it should also be changed too frequently. You should hold on and change for how the events unfold before making a decision about rebalancing. Coming to the topic of when should one perform the portfolio rebalancing, so the suggestive actions are that at least one time a year should be done, not too frequent, but once a year is a recommended option. You can do it on 1st of January at the beginning of the year, 1st of April, which is beginning of the financial year, or as is the case with auto, you can also perform it on your date of birth. That is a reminder that you need to do your portfolio rebalancing on NPS. Or you can also do it on significant changes in portfolio due to external factors. If there are huge changes in the market scenario, market operating conditions, which may have led to your portfolio percentage going up and down, up or down. In that case also, if there is a significant change, let's say there is a change by 2% or 4% or 5%, then you should really be thinking about performing a portfolio rebalancing. So these are a few of the things I thought you may find useful while talking about portfolio management and rebalancing within NPS. If you found this video to be useful, please click on the like button and do subscribe my channel to get more such informative videos. Do leave a comment with whether this information was useful for you and also on the topics that you would like me to cover in the next videos.